But let's jump into the NHL, where we also have some futures going on. Even though the NHL season hasn't technically ended yet, because the Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames still have to play on Tuesday night, but they have no impact on what's going on in the playoffs. So let's take a look at these futures right now. And Brett, the Colorado Avalanche are the favorites at plus 375, followed by last year's champion, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it's interesting. 5 teams this year, Brett. That's why these are underlined in our rundown. 5 teams this year have never won the Stanley Cup, and they have a chance. The Stanley Cup even tweeted at them asking if any of them were interested.
Well, I like that, Higgins. And actually, your odds are different than mine because in New Jersey at plus 650, I get the Maple Leafs as the second highest odds. And I'm actually taking that at a half unit. And Higgins, here is why. Because the way the playoffs are structured this year, the North Division just beats up on itself until the Western Conference Finals. So I'm saying the Maple Leafs have a 1 in 4 shot of getting to the Western Conference Finals, but I really believe they're the only team that has a shot to make it out of the North. So I'm really just skipping ahead to the Western Conference Finals and getting plus 650 odds to make the Stanley Cup Finals, and then I can hedge my way out. So this is simply a take the winner of the North now bet. And, I don't really believe in the Maple Leafs, I guess. I've kind of bet against them all year. But they're going to win the North, Higgins, and that gets you to the Western Conference Finals.
Toronto fans are probably screaming at you saying you're making a mistake, because history says Toronto does not do well in a playoff scenario. But Brett, I'm more interested with the fact you said that the Maple Leafs are the second favorite in the Stanley Cup on the East. So the Lightning are in Oregon at plus 500. Where are the Lightning on your list? Are they third?
So yeah, Higgins, they were just plus 750 over on FanDuel. But I believe the reason that was is kind of what I laid out, where I mean, let's just face it. Toronto is light years better than Edmonton. They're light years better than Winnipeg this year. Winnipeg was a team I liked last year, went out early in the postseason, so that was a bad bet. And they're much better than the Canadians as well. So I really think they have the easiest path to the conference finals, and anything can happen in hockey. We've seen underdogs upset, eights upset ones, excuse me. I don't know why I was saying underdogs upset favorites, like eights upset ones, big upsets in the first round. So anything can happen in the postseason, but I think when you have a path that it lines up like this for Toronto, it's a dream.
It really is. And Brett, I'm on the West Coast in terms of my Stanley Cup champion future that I'm picking. I'm going with the team that surprised everyone a few years ago in their inaugural season, making it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Didn't win it, but Vegas was damn close. And at plus 850, I love their odds. They're the second favorite out of the West behind the Avalanche, who are the overall favorites. And frankly, I think the Golden Knights at plus 850 is fantastic value for being the second favorite, considering the fact that the Avalanche and Vegas, they're in the same conference, or not just the same conference, they're in the same division. Well, they tied with the league leading 82 points. Vegas had one more win than Colorado did. Colorado just had the tiebreaker to get the number one overall seed. So they get the easy route of playing the Blues instead of playing the Wild. I think the Golden Knight will still get through the Wild, and then it's going to be a face-off between them and the Avalanche. Whoever wins that matchup should beat the North, I think, in that Western Conference final that you're mentioning, that the Maple Leafs are participating in. So both of us going kind of with the Western Conference theme here, but I really like the Golden Knights as a Western Division team coming out. I think they're being disrespected as a 2 seed and being overlooked a little bit.
Higgins, you hit the nail on the head. I want no part of the Avalanche Golden Knights series. I want no part of that. Why would I want to bet on that? Anyone could win that. I want the
Because with
Maple
uncertainty
Leafs.
comes value. With the uncertainty comes the value.
The Maple Leafs are just cruising. We'll say, hey, see you guys in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. We have some games on Tuesday and Wednesday, Brett, that we're looking at. Now, I did not have any picks this weekend in NHL. I've kind of let the NHL just wrap itself up at preparing for the playoffs because there was, frankly, a lot of sloppy play going on, and it wasn't very indicative of how against the puck line was looking for the season and everything else. So I stayed away from those scrub games. But on Tuesday, there are two games that I like. I don't have a winner in either one of them. I can tell you, though, I'm picking the over in both of them because, Brett, over 5.5 with plus value has been a theme for us on the next best bet. We've talked about it before. And in the New York Islanders versus the Pittsburgh Penguins game, the over 5.5 is at plus 120, and I absolutely love that. When you look at game one, was a 4-3 game. You look at their regular season series, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of their 8 regular season games were would have hit this over. So it's a 50-50 shot at least plus 120 right there with the odds. I love that value, so give me the over in this game.
Higgins, we were talking about Sorokin a year ago at this point, coming over from Russia or the KHL. He might not have been on one of the Russian teams. He could have been in one of the other countries. But either way, coming over from Russia, the Russian goaltender, and now he is up 1-0 in a playoff series going into game two. I don't know if I have believe in that's going to play a huge factor in the over under, but I do believe this, Higgins. I believe the Islanders' strength is their goaltending and defense, and their weakness is their scoring. So, even at that 5.5 at plus money, which you and I like so much, it was not enough for me to pull the trigger because I just believe the Islanders are so defensive heavy. But I can't deny it. I do love the plus money on the over 5.5. It's one of my favorite bets. You're spot on there.
Well, game one was fast and physical, Brett. To your point about the Islanders' defense, they laid 72 hits on the Penguins' offensive players. Now, Pittsburgh still led, though, with 42 shots on goal compared to the Islanders' 41. So, just as brutal and physical as it was, they were still able to get plenty of shots off on net. And the Penguins, we've seen this before with them in the past with series like against the Flyers, where it's just an entire offensive sprint throughout the entire series. A lot of defense doesn't get played because there's a lot of transition goals that we get in these types of games. So I don't necessarily expect a stark change from what we saw in game one. I expect kind of similar play styles, and I expect the Penguins to probably try to amp it up a little bit too, since they had the overtime loss in game one. Expect Sidney Crosby to get those boys coming out firing. I expect a few extra goals to get in the net. I like that over at 5.5. But the other game is the Wild and Golden Knights, Brett. This is also an over 5.5. This one's listed at plus 115. And I'm actually looking at the other side of it this time because their game one was a 1-0 overtime win. So that would have by far hit the under. However, that's not how these two teams typically did in the regular series. I mean, most recently it was a 5-goal game, so just would have hit the under. But before that, it was a 6-5 game on May 3rd. 6-5. Both these teams have the capability of scoring. Both these teams have scored plenty against each other in their overall series. Again, 4 of 8 regular season games the over would have hit. Basically another 50-50 chance. It didn't hit in game 1. I'm saying it's going to hit in game 2. Give me that over at plus 115 value.
Yeah, well, Higgins, again, I can't deny it. Over 5.5 plus 115. It's a bet I like to make also. So Again, I didn't pull the trigger on these, but I cannot hate him, Higgins. I love the over 5.5 with the plus money. That's what we're all rooting for. We want goals.
But no one's going to be watching that Flames Canucks game on Tuesday night, right? That one doesn't even count. That one doesn't matter.
No. I mean, 0% chance anyone is watching Flames Canucks.
Don't include that in your parlays. That's a slosh game. No one knows how it's going to finish. I wouldn't be comfortable on either side of that one, Brett.